2020 has been a challenging time for all Canadians. We've had to change every aspect of our lives to protect our communities, our families, and our friends. Often, it can feel like these challenges will never end, and we can grow resentful of the sacrifices we've had to make.
At this time of year, we remember other generations who had to make much greater sacrifices, and this year perhaps we can better understand how hard this must have been.
In World War I, 600,000 Canadians fought in a war which lasted from 1914 to 1918. Of this number, approximately 61,000 died and another 172,000 were injured. Even if these young soldiers survived this conflict, they would suffer mental difficulties which the rest of Canada would be unable to understand.
In World War II, 1.1 million Canadians fought in a war which lasted from 1939 to 1945. Of this number, approximately 42,000 were killed and 55,000 were wounded. As with the previous war, they all suffered from psychological consequences of this conflict, and they went on to contribute to the prosperity in Canada we enjoy today.
In addition to these conflicts, 26,000 Canadians served in the Korean War, sadly of which 516 died. Canadians have also served in many peacekeeping missions around the world.
At this time, we would also wish to acknowledge the military contributions of Indigenous people in Canada's 20th century conflicts. 4,000 Indigenous people served in the Canadian Armed Forces during World War I, and another 3,000 served in World War II. This was done despite the fact that these brave youths risked their Indian status. Indigenous Canadians continue to proudly serve in Canada's military forces.
On this day, I remember Lieutenant James Warren Lockwood, who served in the Royal Canadian Artillery from 1941 to 1945.
On this day, I remember Lance Sergeant Joseph Spooner, who served in the 18th Battalion from 1914 until his death in 1915.
On this day, I remember Private John Henry Miracle, who served in the 44th Battalion in 1917 until his death.
Today, we remember the contributions and the sacrifices these Canadians made for us.